Alright guys, so in this video we are going to talk about how I went from fighting daily urges to removing every trigger to alcohol and feeling fully in control of my life in just 120 days by using the Sobriety 7 system. Over here you can see super inflamed, overweight, hating life, miserable, lacking confidence, and then over here my most confident self, in the best shape of my life, happy in my relationship, happy in life, not being affected, in Cancun, absolutely untriggered by all the alcohol surrounding me. As you can see in this picture, there are so many women who I've helped along the way. I can't fit them all on one screen, but you get the gist. You get the point. Right here is Molly. She's well over her year mark. And now Molly's story is interesting. She not only tried rehab and AA and a psychiatrist and therapy and IOP, she finally came to Sobriety 7 and now she's over a year sober. She found something that really worked for her. And all we really did was identify what her triggers are in the environment that she's currently living in, which helped her to be able to navigate those situations without running off to the bottle. We are so proud of Molly. Next up, we got Liz with the Fizz. Her story is also unique. She just wanted to come for October, November, and December, and January. She just wanted to get through the holiday seasons, and I told her, let's do it. And at the end of the seasons, we can reevaluate and see what your next move is with alcohol. Obviously, she got to the end of the season. She's like, why would I go back after everything I've learned, everything I've discovered about myself, all of the work I've done? Why would I throw the towel in now? Now, she's at 15 months of sobriety, and she is absolutely crushing it. We are so proud of Liz. And then there are so many other unique stories in Sobriety 7. This community is such a big family. So, who is this for? If you are struggling with depression or anxiety and sick of using alcohol as a crutch and just want to feel not dependent on alcohol for all of your problems, this is for you. If you are tired of feeling like a bad mother because alcohol turns you into someone you're not proud of and need to be a better role model for your family, this is for you. If you're fed up with relapsing over and over and over again, even after trying AA, therapy, or just sheer willpower, and you just don't know what to do anymore, this is for you. If you thought moderation was the answer, but ended up losing control over and over again, this is for you. If you're noticing your drinking or certain parts of your life are progressively getting worse and it's been scaring you, this is for you. All right, now, who is this not for? If you're looking for a quick fix or even hoping for an overnight result without putting in the time, the energy, the money, or any other resources required to put into yourself, this isn't for you. If you are someone who makes excuses every time instead of finding solutions and always has some reason why something won't work, this isn't for you. If you're stuck in a victimhood mindset, always feeling sorry for yourself, always blaming others, and refusing to take control of your life, this isn't for you. If you think you already know it all and you are not open to learning new methods and perspectives, this isn't for you. It ain't for you, dog. And if you're someone who is just curious and toying around with the idea of sobriety and wanting to moderate, but not be serious and aren't actually ready to get committed, this isn't for you. Here's the truth about getting sober that no one else will tell you, but I'm gonna tell ya. Getting sober isn't complicated. It's actually very simple. You can absolutely get sober without going to therapy, taking medication, going to AA. Most people struggling with alcohol fail at sobriety because, one, they don't truly understand why they drink in the first place. Two, they don't identify all their triggers and solve for them by taking action. Three, they view slip-ups as failures and not as valuable lessons. And then lastly, number 4, they think their success in sobriety is defined about how long they've been sober, which is incorrect. But I'm here to make sure you never have to go through that. There is no such thing as, I can't get sober because I have too much self-doubt. I can't get sober because there is always alcohol around me. I can't get sober because I'm way too deep into my addiction. It's too late for me. It runs in my family. whatever you got to say, that's not true. It's just a false belief. And if you want to finally be free from the grip that alcohol has on you currently, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. By number one, truly understand why you drink. That is so important. That way you're no longer lost or frustrated about why you can't stay sober. Number two, gonna help you find all your triggers and then help you work through them one by one until none of them are left and sobriety feels effortless. Number three, gonna change the way that you view slip-ups, not see them as a bad day, but you're actually gonna learn from them and make it easier to stay sober each time you slip up. Not advocating for slip-ups, but they're not the enemy. And then number four, learn what real success in sobriety means so you don't relapse after a few years thinking you were doing great because you had 3, 4, 5, 10 years. It ain't the time. It's the ability to manage your stress and solve for the problems in your life. All right, so now before we dive into the deep end, here is a brief backstory on how I got here. So this journey of mine started back in 2019. Now, I had a father who struggled with addiction, so I always compared my life to his life. And I was like, I don't have a drinking problem. Super unaware, even though I was blacking out, even though I was out drinking all my friends, even though I was regularly getting into trouble, I didn't see it as a problem because I didn't drink like my father. He drank daily. He drank a large amount. He drank consistently. I just drank every once in a while and would black out here and there. But then, I started to get a DUI, and then I crashed my car, and then I would black out more, and then I got into more trouble with the law. I punched my ex in the face, and I went to jail for 13 hours. But I still didn't see it as a problem. I just thought, I just overdo it sometimes. I need to learn how to moderate. I need to learn how to, only drink on the weekends, get rid of liquor, only have beer or wine, drink only past 5 o'clock. There's all these rules rather than just completely recognizing that it was a problem. And then fast forward, I move with my boyfriend of 2 years from California to Florida. Here I am, passed out in the front lawn thinking I can leave my addiction in California. I just got to get away from my family and my friends and all the people who influence me to drink. Then I'll get sober. Wrongo. Wherever you go, there you are. I drank by myself. The addiction got worse. I had no friends. I had no family. I had no job. I had my boyfriend, but he was busy creating his business and wanting to be an entrepreneur and work. So that left a lot of downtime for me. I didn't know how to use that downtime, so I drank. And I had friends come my way and come out to Florida and visit me, and I would be an even bigger mess, a bigger shit show. Had all my friends come out, and I was like, wow, okay. Clearly, it wasn't my friends. Clearly, it's me influencing them. I really need to start to reflect. But I didn't start to reflect until I started to go around my husband now. It's my husband now, but he was my boyfriend then. Around his work colleagues. And that's right over here. I was around them, and I recognized they didn't drink like I drank. They were like normal, sophisticated, working women of the world. I was like, okay, there might be a problem here. So I really started to work on my sobriety. After 2022, we had moved here. I started to become a little bit more aware of my problem. My dad had passed away. He died from, cirrhosis of the liver due to alcohol. And then I recognized from that and being around people who drank like normal people that I needed to start to seriously take this seriously. And so speed that up from 2022, I really tried. I'd have a couple days here, a couple weeks. Even one point I got up to 2.5 months. And then in Cancun, I slipped back into drinking. But July 23rd, 2023, after a weekend bender, 13 hours in Cleveland, Ohio, got a call from my boyfriend at the time, who's my now husband. He gave me an ultimatum. He said, I can't keep watching you destroy your life. I can't keep watching you be reckless and irresponsible. Seeing as I was 27 at the time, I'm like, I ain't finding a new person. I don't want to do that. I wanted to be married. I wanted kids. And I loved this man so dearly. He didn't drink. He didn't smoke. He didn't do drugs. He wasn't a bad influence. He was actually the first really great thing in my life, and I was about to lose that. But after that call, I said, fuck you. And I drank again. And then the very next day, I black out at my niece's 10th birthday. After an entire weekend of just feeling like a shitbag disaster of a person, I finally decided I'm done. Enough is enough. I'm calling it quits for real this time. Now that took from 2019 to 2023 because I couldn't identify what my actual problems were. I was alone, I was lost, I had no direction, I was scared of getting sober because I never lived sober from anything. I'd always had some form of drug in my life, whether it was nicotine or weed or Adderall or alcohol or Molly or Coke, whatever it was, I was always doing something. So to live an actual sober life in my head at the time, I thought this meant my life is ending. It's going to get boring. I'm going to be that boring, stay at home, housewife, raise a couple kids, hate my life. And the absolute opposite happened. After a couple of months, after just a few months of sobriety, I started to recognize the confidence that I felt, the love I had for myself. But it was hard because I was still by myself. So I started to create things that I can do throughout my days to fill up my time. I started walking every single day. I was like, I'm just gonna go walk. We lived in North Miami at the time. I'm like, I'm just gonna go walk 4 laps around the school every single day. That slowly turned into 5,000 steps a day. And that turned into 10,000 steps a day. And I just kept walking. Anytime I had a trigger, I was like, walk. Then obviously I got to the 3-month mark, which was where I would usually slip up in my sobriety. But I wanted it. I wanted it bad. And we lived in a new place. We moved to Sunny Isles. His brother came to live with us, which was at my time, that was my accountability because he could sniff it out like a hawk. I was like, nope, he's not going to have that justification of hating me more. I'm not drinking around him. I'm not drinking, period. So I created Sobriety 7, which is hilarious, looking at 14 followers and 3 posts. And I was following 4 people. And I had an alias picture. It was a warrior in a garden. But besides the point, I just started to put myself out there. These are my old drinking videos, and I kept reminding myself of what I didn't want to go back to. And then soon after that, messages after messages kept flooding in saying, I need your help. You're so brave. You're so courageous. And at the time, I didn't feel brave. I didn't feel courageous. I felt desperate. I felt desperate to stay the course. I didn't want to go back to drinking. And then soon after, I'd had a better grip of my sobriety and I had a better understanding as to what was causing my addiction, I then created a 7-stage system to help other women be able to overcome their addiction. I might not have been able to help my father, but this is what I do to help honor him by helping other women achieve sobriety, by helping them understand what causes them to want to drink. So that's a little bit of my backstory, and that is exactly how I got here. So the Sobriety 7 system is the method I created from my own addiction journey and 2 years of helping women get sober for good. Now, I've decided to break it all down for you. We're gonna break it down. So obviously here I was, inflamed, unmotivated, no confidence, hanging on by a thread, 2019 to 2023, and then here I am now. This was this year after I've been running for February to August, where I found out I was pregnant. I was freaking crushing it, killing it, effortlessly sober, helping other women overcome their addiction, stay sober for good, and here are just a few of them from the previous slides that I showed before. So in the following steps, I will outline the entire process from A to Z, what I did for myself and my clients to accomplish these exact results with the Sobriety 7 system. Remember, this system helped me go from fighting daily urges to removing every trigger to alcohol and feeling fully in control of my life in just 120 days. So, the Sobriety 7 system has 4 major components to it. Step 1, you need to truly understand why you drink. Alcohol isn't the reason that you're addicted. I know. Hang in there. It sounds crazy because you're like, no, she doesn't know. I'm addicted because I'm addicted. No. Step 2, become aware of your triggers. Figure out all the reasons you keep turning to alcohol and get ready to solve them one by one. Your list could be 20, it could be 10, it could be 5, but we've got to go through that list one by one and solve them. That's the key, solving the problems. Step 3, the sobriety golden rule. I love this rule. It is to remind us that slip-ups aren't failures and urges aren't bad. I'll say this again. Slip-ups aren't failures and urges aren't bad. They are clues. They are the telltale signs to what is causing your addiction. And step 4, what real success looks like. Success is how you handle life's hardest moments while staying sober. It's easy to stay sober when everything's going right, but it's when your back is against the wall and you got about 20 different dumpster fires and you remain sober by problem solving by using these 4 components. Now, let me show you how each step of the Sobriety 7 system will help you get rid of every urge and stay effortlessly sober. Get your pens, get your papers, we get locked in! All right, step 1. Truly understand why you drink. So, everyone has heard of cause and effect. Right now, you view alcohol as the cause of your life problems, but you will never become effortlessly sober with this perspective. And sure, alcohol can make your life even worse, but it is not the cause of all of your problems. So, how do we fix this? You must view alcohol as the effect and your life problems as the cause, like this. Okay? You're seeing it like this, you need to see it like this. You're seeing it like this. Alcohol causes my problems, but we need to see it like this. Your life problems feed the desire to drink. Not getting along with my husband, not communicating with my husband, my kids not respecting me feeling stressed or overwhelmed or having anxiety feeds your desire to drink. So, now, this means that you drink because of your life problems. And this is exactly why people stay stuck in their addiction their whole lives and they never figure this out. My dad is a prime example of this. He thought, I'm an alcoholic, I have a problem, I can never get sober. Not really understanding that he wasn't communicating the things that it is that he had going on. His mom left him when he was 3, didn't deal with that. My mom divorced him. He didn't deal with that. He lost not 1 but 4 of his children, got taken away from him. All of these life problems fed the desire to want to escape, to want to drink. Rather than dealing with them and becoming a problem solver, he melted more and more into the arms of alcohol, like many people do, because their focus is on the alcohol and not the life problems themselves. Alcohol isn't the problem. Alcohol is only the effect of a much larger problem, and that, like I said, could be a multitude of things. But stress, anxiety, feeling overwhelmed, lack of connection with your family, with your partner, with your friends, these are all things that can feed your desire to want to drink alcohol. So, I'm going to prove this with an easy, simple analogy. Let's think of a common cold. What are the effects of a simple cold? Signs of a cold could be coughing, runny nose, sore throat. If we try to deal with the symptoms of a cold the way that we try to deal with your alcohol problem, it looked like this. If I just stop coughing, I should be able to get rid of this cough, right? If I just blow my nose, I should be able to get rid of my runny nose, right? If I just don't think about how sore my throat is, I should be able to get rid of my sore throat, right? Obviously, none of these solutions would work to get rid of the symptom of a cold. And why is this the case? Because a cough, a runny nose, a sore throat aren't the cause of a cold. So, what is at the cause of a cold? Viral infection. No matter how much you try to deal with the symptoms, you will never get rid of the cold because they aren't the cause of your cold. To get rid of the virus, you simply must rest, drink fluid, rely on your immune system, and give it time. Very similar to alcohol. Same thing when we're drinking. You gotta give it time. You gotta let it run its course. You gotta identify the reasons that are causing you to want to drink. Not focus over here, focus over here. Same thing with the cough, runny nose, sore throat. Not focus over here, focus on the viral infection. Alcohol is only the symptom or the effect. It is not the cause. In other words, it's not what you really should be worried or focused on when trying to get sober. Do not just focus on the alcohol. Don't even focus on it at all. Don't focus on the symptom or the effect. This right here is where people stay their entire lives focusing on the effect. People say things like, if I just get enough time without drinking any alcohol, I should continue to stay sober, right? Wrong. You didn't solve a life problem. You just didn't drink for a little short while. You're not solving any of your life problems, so you most likely will 100% go back. They also say things like, if I just do this sober challenge, I'll become effortlessly sober, right? No, because once again, what life problem did you solve by doing a 30, 60, 90-day challenge? You didn't solve shit. And lastly, if I just go to rehab and change nothing when I'm out, I'll stay sober, right? Wrong. You didn't change any problem. You just went to this destination dream escape, away from your problems, away from your family, away from your chores and obligations, away from work. You're gone for 30, 60, 90 days, but when you come back, you go right back to the same environment with all the problems, and you didn't solve for any of those problems when you got back. So of course, you're going to want to end up drinking. And then this is where people will say, I didn't do rehab right. No, you just didn't solve the life problems once you got home. Now, none of these solutions will work long term because your addiction to alcohol is only the effect. It is not the cause. It is the effect, not the cause. This is what's causing you to want to drink. This is only the effect. Now, step 2, become aware of your triggers. Let's switch life problems to the word triggers, okay? This is what triggers your response to want to drink. Most people struggle with alcohol and are only aware of 1 to 4 of their triggers. Now, to help you spot your triggers faster, I made a list of the most common ones my clients have had to deal with that led them to want to drink. So what I want you to do is write down all the ones that you believe cause you to drink as well. Pause the video if you need. All right, afraid to be yourself, have low self-esteem in social settings, you're introverted, but alcohol makes you extroverted, allowing toxic relationships to hurt you, having expectations of family members and being disappointed. You label yourself as an alcoholic. You lost your job and you don't know how to adapt. You found out that your partner is doing drugs. Alcohol is a drug, okay, but other drugs. Your husband wants nothing to do with you. Working at a job where drinking alcohol is the norm. Friends and family are not supportive with your sobriety journey. You allow people to disrespect you. Then you get angry. Then you drink. Holding a secret and not being radically honest with yourself or the people around you. Having problems in your relationship. Keeping people who don't value or care about you around. Not setting proper boundaries with somebody. Don't know how to communicate your needs with your romantic partner. You're not a consistent person and it makes you feel less about yourself. You cheated on your husband or your boyfriend. Always choosing an easier path rather than doing the harder things. You get overwhelmed with what other people think about you. Grieving the passing of a family member. Breaking too many promises to yourself. You have the habit of driving to the liquor store. Living with a family member with an addiction. Living with your dying parents. You don't feel important enough to help yourself. Always thinking about negative outcomes. You don't allow yourself to feel every emotion, even the bad ones. Staying with your cheating husband. You haven't fully processed the loss of a child. Putting everyone's needs above your own. Being adopted and not being able to change your negative perspective on it. You're going through a midlife crisis. You're staying in a job that you freaking hate. You got your kids taken away from you. You turn a small problem into an even bigger problem. You drink because you've disappointed your kids. You have a bad relationship with your husband after all the kids have moved out. You feel like you're the victim of something. You have held on to your traumatic past caused by your mom. You have not fully committed to your sobriety. You still allow people to anger you. Being stressed from work, easily being offended by others, relying on motivation versus discipline, not knowing how to say no to alcohol without guilt. You hate your job in the adult industry, grieving a relationship that didn't work out and traumatized your kids. Lastly, feeling lonely and feeling bored. All right, so that was a lot. I rambled them out there. But again, these are some of the most common ones that I've seen. So you should have a list of at least 10 triggers now. Work through them one by one until they are all handled. The more you solve, the easier staying sober becomes. Step 3, the most important step, is to remember the sobriety golden rule. So What is the golden rule? Slip-ups aren't failures and urges aren't bad. They are clues to what is going on, what is causing your addiction. So remember the golden rule, because I've seen so many of my clients beat themselves up, kick themselves when they're down, wanting to feel bad about having a slip up. But sometimes you get it right out the gates, and other times you may slip up 1, 2, 3, 4 times, but in each one of those slip ups is a lesson, is something for you to learn. One of our clients this weekend actually had a slip up. She wanted to kick herself while she was down. She wanted to beat herself up. And I said, we ain't doing that, girlfriend. You got to remember the golden rule. Slip-ups aren't failures and urges aren't bad. So as we sat there and we dug and dug, she had thought that she just drank. But what was underlining with that was overwhelm and resentment. She had gone into an argument 4 days prior with her husband. It never was resolved, so she carried this around, brushed it under the rug for the next couple of days until one tiny little thing happened, and then boom, that was what caused her to drink, because she never dealt with the issue that she had had 3-4 days ago. And then she wanted to kick herself when she was down. But after we discovered this is what led up to that, there's a series of events that led up to that moment that she drank, she was then able to go back, have that conversation that she needed to have with her husband, and work through it, and most importantly, resolve it. Therefore, taking away the urge to want to drink and the desire to beat yourself up when you're down, right? There is always a lesson. And now, if she had beaten herself up and continued to stay down, she would have never recognized that there was a beautiful lesson to have learned. That you can't just sweep shit under the rug, and that you can't just beat yourself up when you do have a slip up. You have to get curious. And in that moment when I pointed it out to her, it's like alarm bells went off for her. Like she had never even thought to think of that or to do that. But you have to take action. Otherwise, it's going to result in a frequent slip up over the same thing over and over and over again. The same lesson presenting itself to you without you fully learning the lesson. And this is why so many people stay in their addiction, because they never get curious. They so frequently get critical. I'm a failure. I suck. I'll be like this for the rest of my life. Wrong. Now, there was another client in the community who had slipped up. Now, she had gone on a trip and she had ended up drinking with her daughter. She's like, it was just a moment of connection. I'm like, okay, I hear you. Let's dig on that a little bit. What happened? So she went to tell me about her entire trip. Here are some key factors that she didn't put 2 and 2 together. Number 1, she lost her wallet at the airport, causing her stress and frustration because she needed her ID to board the plane. 2, when she got to the destination that she needed, she had a problem with the car rental place, which also caused more frustration. Finally, once she got to her daughter's house, number 3, she had started telling her about how her dad was mistreating her before this wedding, causing her daughter pain, which caused my client to have anger. And so in that moment when she said, hey, do you want a glass of wine? She was like, you know what? Yes, I want to connect. Not recognizing all the series of events that hadn't been dealt with, hadn't been processed, that led to that moment of saying, yes, I'll have that drink. So when I pointed this out to her, again, alarm bells going off, she wouldn't have recognized that that was what caused her to drink. She would have had the belief that it was for connection. When it wasn't connection, it was a series of events and anger towards her ex-husband for causing her daughter pain that all led to that moment of her wanting to drink and escape, but she wants to label it connecting, right? So it wasn't connection. And so like I pointed out to her, and I point out to all of you, slip-ups aren't failures and urges aren't bad. Again, the golden rule. Always remember this rule. Slip-ups aren't failures and urges aren't bad. They are what help you discover the clues that are causing your addiction. Now, number 4, the last step, what real success looks like. Success in sobriety is not about how many days you've been sober. That number, it can fool you. That is why some people stay sober for years and then still end up drinking again. Time sober isn't success. It is not a real indicator of success. Real success is finding and fixing as many life problems or triggers as possible. Every time you feel an urge to drink, ask why. Find the problem and solve it. Get curious. I have so many women come into my DMs, 3, 5, 10 years sober, but I slipped up after a divorce. I slipped up when my mom died. I slipped up when life got hard, meaning that the time sober is not as important as the ability to manage the hard times that life will present you. Life is hard, guys, but your answer cannot ever be alcohol again. When you think like this, you are ready for any urge out there, even if it's years later. And when it comes, you won't drink because you'll be expecting it, not blindsided by it. I know that life will get hard at some point. Something bad will happen, but I know in my mind and my body and my soul that drinking will not serve me. It will not make the situation better, and it is only going to prolong the pain and the hurt that it is that I need and am required to feel. So, again, success isn't stacking the days, although it's nice, don't get me wrong, I'm at like 840 or something. Real success is stacking life problems and triggers that you've solved. Solve this, manage that, did this, bing, bam, boom. That shows more of an ability to go the distance with sobriety than having a certain amount of days, months, or years. And now here's the crazy part. After 3 months of committing to these steps that I just took you guys through, I actually started to get curious. I didn't feel bad about having urges. I didn't feel bad about the desire I had to drink. I got curious. I was figuring out where these urges were coming from, dissecting my life problem by problem. And by doing that, by running this through 3 months, I actually started to want to live again. I started to respect myself. I used to say things like the world would be a better place if I just weren't here. And I believed that. I started working out more and I kept losing weight. I was down 20 pounds, and by the end of this year I was down 30 pounds. Now I'm pregnant, I'm up 20 pounds. I had more confidence than ever before in myself. My body dysmorphia evaporated. My problems with my partner evaporated because I was sitting there working through problems. I did my part to save my relationship. I did the things that were necessary for me to solve the problems on my end that I had control over. And then that fed into him wanting to solve his problems. And now we are a united front. Divided we stand, united we stand, divided we fall. And most importantly, I finally felt true happiness and fulfillment. I wasn't looking for the next high through weed or through alcohol or the next thing that I can buy on Amazon. I was truly happy and just content with myself, being here in the present day with everything that it is I had. Sure, maybe it wasn't everything I wanted, but I'm a big and firm believer that you can't be blessed with what you want until you're grateful for what you have. And you know what? The best part is seeing women in the community follow in my footsteps, getting sober and building a strong mindset where alcohol doesn't even tempt them. That means everything to me, because when I see that my efforts are rippling to other women and so on and so forth, to the women around them in their lives, and the men and the children, and people get a return back home, blessings. That is what makes me feel like I truly am honoring my father. That is what's truly making me believe that what I'm doing here matters. So every day I get messages from these women telling me how grateful they are to have found this opportunity, and that the steps I shared today are the exact ones I followed and they have followed as well. I didn't hold anything back. I gave it all to you now. But now the key thing is, are you going to take action on it? We have all the information in the world, but it's when we take action. And now this is how strong the Sobriety 7 system is when you follow it the right way, on purpose, and understand why every step and change matters. This was when I was crashing my car, getting into bar fights, having my fingers ripped open, being blacked out on my 24th birthday, had the most incredibly horrible, bad acne, again, getting into fights, domestic violence fights with my ex, falling asleep in bushes, passed out, blacked out, just getting into all the trouble that I could get into. Honestly, just hating life. This here was just, I was at my lowest. I didn't hit a rock bottom. I hit multiple rock bottoms, but I just call them low points. Whereas now, I'm in the happiest place, married to my husband, baby on the way, excited for life, excited to be here, to be living, thriving, in shape, working on myself, most confident I've ever been. Whereas before I thought I needed alcohol in order to be confident. Whereas now I understand that confidence cannot be bought, it is built. I'm taking more time to do things by myself, enjoying my own company, whereas before I needed to be surrounded by people. I needed to be going places. I needed there to be constant noise and chatter. And now I just take time to go to the beach and watch sunrise and sunset and run and find things that make me feel truly alive. Spending time with my dogs, going out and getting overpriced coffee because I'm not spending it on alcohol, weed, and nicotine vapes anymore. So I can splurge from time to time. But that's an old picture. I don't even drink coffee anymore. So now it's overly priced juice. So life has just gotten so much better through using this Sobriety 7 system. And it can work for you as well. Now that you understand exactly how the system works, I have an offer for you. If you are a woman struggling with alcohol and nothing has worked, if you're a mom, a wife, or a business professional and people are starting to notice your behavior, if you're a person whose confidence is at an all-time low and knows there's a better life that doesn't require alcohol and you just don't know where to start, and are tired of wasting time trying to figure it out alone, and you're ready to take control and impress the people around you with your newfound sobriety, then click the link below that's going to take you to my Instagram, and what I want you to do is DM me the word YouTube. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one.